This next guy I'm going to bring up, I've had the opportunity, Mac even worked with him this past week in Hampton Beach, the fried dough capital of the world. And he's here for your entertainment pleasure right now. Normally, he makes his living flat picking, being a folk singer, has a couple albums out, but he's also a very, very funny comedian. And I think you're going to agree. Nice round of applause, Mr. Orrin Starr.
How y'all doing tonight? Any birthdays or anniversaries? Oh, thank you. It's great being back here at Great Woods. Oh, sorry, that's next week. As Michael was saying, my name is Orrin Starr. That's spelled O-R-R-I-N-S-T-A-R. First question most people ask me is that your real name? Answer is yes, it is my real name. I got the name Orrin because I was born in Israel. It's a Hebrew name, means very funny guy. And Star, of course, is a German word, means thing in the sky. And that is the name I was born with. Now, I do also have a spiritual name, God's gift to women. But Orrin is what it says on the official forms. So I live over in Cambridge, Massachusetts, the only city on the eastern seaboard where people order pizza with extra broccoli. But I have been starting to get out a bit. In fact, I don't feel it's too strange. I was up in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire the other night, and that was a wild experience. Kind of educational. You know, I'd long been wondering where they found that studio audience for the Morton Downey show. And also came across an eatery on the boardwalk called Gourmet Fried Dough. Something that was new to me, and I thought to myself, gourmet, kind of an incongruous concept if you think about it. You know, gourmet fried dough, kind of like a hell of a good caviar, or President Bush. But anyway, so did you check out the fight of the century there a couple of weeks ago? The Tyson versus Spinks contest, you know. I don't really have an opinion on it because I was taking a leak when it happened. But I did find it pretty damn entertaining, you know, outside the ring. Promoter Don King, your reaction to the fight?
Well, as I've said all along, the grandiloquent prevarications and extemporaneous obfuscations of my detractors have only served to highlight that I'm a promoter of the people, by the people, for the people, we the people. A stitch in time saves 9. Tyson's bright and ready to fight.
Now, there's a spokesman for you. I mean, you know, you gotta wonder, what are we doing sending a guy like George Bush down to the International Commission to explain the downing of the Iranian jetliner when we could have a guy like Don King representing us?
Gentlemen, after 7 warnings to the pilot, the reflection and diffraction of the radar across the hypotenuse of the triangle was such that when the plane wouldn't slow, the missile let go.
I think my favorite guy in the media right now, though, has got to be Pat Summerall, the hardware fanatic, because it seems to me like what Dr. J did for the slam dunk, this guy is doing for the non sequitur every week on national radio. Driving in my car recently, I hear, "Hi, Pat Summerall here. Getting ready for Memorial Day? Well, how about a new belt sander from True Value?" How about a link between thoughts, Pat? This instrument I have with me is a mandolin. They come in all shapes and sizes. Mandolin, of course, is an Italian word meaning guitar fetus. And Here's a weird thing. I'm driving in my car the other day listening to the radio. The Jim Croce song Operator comes on, one of my favorite songs from the 60s. It's a woman singing the thong. It's a woman singing the song. I'm thinking, great new version. It's like, Operator, won't you help me make that call? Not now. All of a sudden the music fades down. A voiceover comes on and says, your New York State phone operator will help connect. It's a friggin' ad for the phone company. It's like yuppie ad geeks are dancing on Croce's grave here. It bummed me right out. I thought, what next? You can be driving along and get... There is a house in New Orleans and in Cleveland and in Chicago and in Boston. And your Century 21 dealer will be there to help connect.
And wait a minute, get a close-up on this baby, because this is one of Orrin's albums, and he does photograph well, doesn't he? That's right. Kind of guy who shows up and your mom won't let your daughter out of the house. So, Orrin, you're coming from the folk direction, and now you're a comedy guy. What's the difference, comedy or folk? What's the real difference?
Well, there are some basic differences. For example, you never see a folk musician finish a song and go, yeah. And at the same time, you never see a comic introduce a line. You never hear, I wrote this next joke for a very special friend of mine. He's in the audience tonight.
Very nice. Now, how many of these albums you got out, man?
I have 3 albums.
3 different albums, all of them on Flying Fish Records? Mm-hmm. Which is... That's the name of the label. There's no joke there. Unless they're clairvoyant and they know some good shit's coming up. I don't know. But, yeah, Flying Fish, that's a legitimate folk label like Yazoo or... Rounder, which is in Cambridge.
Right.
Jeez, I know all this stuff.
No, folk, it's been okay. I really, folk is going all right, but I started getting into comedy because, well, frankly, the demand for Jewish bluegrass singers from New Jersey has been a little off these past couple years.
Is this the most recent album?
Yeah.
And are you working on anything new now?
I'm taking a little breather.
You're going to do a comedy album next, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe some comedy with the music?
Yeah.
Maybe, go down to Brookline, make bagels for a living. Where are you working next that these people can see you?
I'm going to be doing music with my trio on the 18th, Thursday night in Needham on the town green.
So bring your pipe bomb.
I'm going to be at Catch a Rising Star as the opening act last weekend in August.
Last week in August? Who are you working with?
Steve Schaefer.
Steve Schaefer. Love his beers. Don't know him other than that, but go in and see Orrin and walk out on Steve. It's a joke, Stevie. Wherever you are. But that's good. And so you're doing mostly comedy gigs, or you're doing a combination of the both?
Trying to do both now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just honing in on the big money.
Exactly.
Yeah? What'd you do? You injured yourself there? A little Band-Aid action?
No, actually, in the humidity, you start sweating and the friction on the mandolin.
Oh, I've heard about that, yeah. We get a kid with an injury in the front row, the same thing. Well, listen, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, the show has run its course. We are... okay. Orrin, let's lead them in Happy Trails. Happy Trails. Shut up. How about a nice round of applause, all the comedians